optimum online security. We have a security issue with your cable modem connection. Posting copyrighted material to the newsgroup server. Waldo, cease the posting of any copyrighted material. We will shut down your cable modem service. Goodbye.
I don't believe it.
Previously on Survivor, old loyalties remained after the tribes merged as James won the reward challenge and chose Andy to share it, leaving Charlotte behind. Pete won immunity, and at Tribal Council, what remained of Ula unanimously recognised Andy as the greatest threat to their survival. Consequently, he became the 8th person voted off the island. Day 26 on the island and the new tribe's 7th morning together. Some Sakutu members are working hard around the camp, but there's a feeling in certain quarters that others simply are not pulling their weight.
So has any chopsticks been washed this morning? I've only got a few.
Yeah, I think Jackie was washing them.
The barbecue is alive. With hermit crabs. Charlotte, James and Pete have sat on their asses all morning and nothing but cook their own meals, which is what they choose to do now, while the rest of us has run around doing their washing up, clearing up the stuff that they've left all over the place. You know, the table every night gets overrun by rats and they urinate and mess all over it. And I don't want to eat where there's rat droppings. It's just not hygienic.
Eve is an absolute nightmare, and I will do my damnedest to make sure she doesn't win £1 million, because she doesn't deserve it. She's a bossy little crow.
Unfortunately, the two people from Halang that we've already voted off were the two that you could relatively get on with, and the whole reason they were voted off first is because they were the best competitors. Now we're left with the dross.
There's this funny thing going on about the rice and whether we should ration it and whether we should put salt water in it when we cook it or whether we should rinse it. And I personally don't care because it tastes disgusting anyway.
It's quite nice and salty, this one, isn't it?
Good. But not everyone in Sakutu is quite so easygoing about how the rice is cooked or whether it should be rationed.
Charlotte, are you having more?
Yeah, I'll have a little bit more.
Pete, are you having more? Have you got any water? Stop again. What is it? I'm cooking rice now because we have already had breakfast, yes? Yeah. Oh, well, I'll have more rice, and I'll have more rice, and I'll have more rice as well. So what happened about portions and, like, having to ration the rice? So what's the point?
If you antagonise them, the mood they're in, they'll just get worse.
Is it me or is it a bit testy this morning?
And what do you mean by
Not with you, Jackie.
I don't know, I just pick up a bit of an atmosphere, little one-liners between you and Eve.
Yeah, it's nothing more than just
Very
banter.
minor.
Idle banter.
Idle banter.
Pete's attitude this morning, he just sits about, you know, he won't serve himself food, you have to serve him. He's just such a little boy, and he gets this big moral high ground, you know, this I can't vote people off because it's nasty. So now he hangs around Halang all the time, sort of being their friend. It's just starting to grate.
Peter's never once had to fight or think about his position on this island.
No.
He has never once had to approach anybody about ensuring his position on this island.
No.
Pete hasn't got a bloody clue what's going on.
Not at all. He's not even
Just
playing a
because
game, he's just living here.
He hasn't a clue.
I just don't like the feeling of voting somebody off. It's awful.
Now, everybody hates the idea of voting someone off, especially when it's down to us 6. It's horrible.
Everybody here knows the rules of the game and will play the rules of the game except Pete. Other people around him are now probably getting fed up with his holier-than-thou attitude.
I mean, if this happens again next time with James or Charlotte...
And it will.
You're about as much as, you know...
Because he feels so guilty about having to vote somebody off.
Well then, maybe the time isn't... Maybe we should cease this pain for him.
Well, I wouldn't be adverse to it at all.
How's it looking?
He's done, isn't he?
Definitely.
If you could close your eyes and open them to a table full of one particular food, but only one, what would it be?
This is how conversation goes at dinner most nights. What would you most like to eat? And that's where my head and Richard's head both go, oh God, not again. And somebody goes, pizza! Chocolate! Inane conversations about eating chocolate bars when nobody wants to talk about eating chocolate bars because we're all starving, for God's sake, so shut up!
There's one we can buy in Cardiff, which is just, you can't even see the sponge for the thick, fudgy icing. And inside, the sponge is so moist, it must have been made with like melted Cadbury's chocolate. Oh, and it's just gorgeous.
Do you eat that or just shove it straight into an artery?
In one way or another, food appears to be causing divisions within Sakutu. So that's what's on offer at today's reward challenge, which should provide the tribe with some light relief. Welcome to today's reward challenge. For centuries, the tribe's people of Borneo have been hunting for food with a blowpipe like this. And that is what you're going to be doing today. You get one shot each, and it's £50 for the outer ring, £100 for the inner ring, and for a bullseye, it's £250. Going to do it in alphabetical order. One dart each. Charlotte, the blowpipe is yours.
Thank you.
Bad luck, Charlotte. Eve. That's the outer ring, Eve, which is £50. Do 20 to the 10.
Come and join the full me.
James, outer ring, 50 quid. Michael, outer ring, also £50. Keep it very safe, keep it very safe. You never know what you can buy with that. Big puff, big puff. Don't like giving all this away. 520s, is that 100?
That'll do for me.
Sure.
Thank you.
£50. £100. Very well done. 3, 4, 5. Well done, everybody. If you can head back to the camp and we'll get to the important bit, we'll try and help you spend your winnings.
When we heard that there was going to be an auction, we all said, let's not play the game. Let's keep our money. And whoever bids for something, let's not push the bids up. and we all said we'd do that. I mean, I didn't have any money, but everybody agreed that whatever they bid for, they would share amongst the group.
And I told you it was all about hunting food on this island. Well, this is the sort of food you can't hunt, but you will probably crave for. And the first lot is a warm pizza with sausage, mushrooms, peppers, onion, and it is warm.
We'd obviously talked about it beforehand, and the sensible thing seemed to do not to outbid each other, and we were all going to share. But for some strange reason, there was a couple of outbids, which I didn't really understand. I mean, I know there's some contradiction about what really happened next.
I think reserve price today, £20, I think.
Oh, wow.
So who will give me £20 for the pizza? Richard, give me £20. That's an early bid. Anyone bid higher than Richard? £20 for the pizza.
I'll give you 30.
Pete, you're rolling in it.
Yeah, Italian's not my style.
You're not interested?
No.
No
I'll
pizza
pass.
for Pete?
I'll pass.
No,
Zoe?
I've got to wait and see.
You've been talking about pizzas for the last 3 weeks.
I've got to wait and see.
Have you got anchovies and bananas on?
This is a very disappointing auction. Richard, this is yours at £20. Pizza for £20. Going. I hate to do it for £20. That's cheap at the price. Enjoy it. I've got £20 back. Right, our second lot of the day is a burger with fries and some ketchup.
I'll do 20 quid for that.
That's very quick. Eve. Anybody want to go higher than £20? Someone must give me more than 20. Pete, are you not hungry? What's the matter with you?
It's not my fast food. I don't go for fast food.
You don't go for fast food?
No.
Right. Richard, are you sharing that pizza yet?
Do you want my money?
No one. Eve is desperate. Okay, £20 gone to Eve. Desperation here.
Damn you!
They're getting it very cheaply. This is cheap.
Oh no!
Now this might cause some problems, particularly for Charlotte, because what we've got here is some chocolate, and we don't want it to melt, so we need a quick round of bidding. Now Charlotte obviously has been craving chocolate for the last few days, but she hasn't got any money. So someone might, just might, Pete, this is what you've been waiting for, want to buy Charlotte some chocolate. £10 is going to be the reserve. Who will spend £10 on the chocolate? Pete will go 10. 2 bars of chocolate.
I'm going 20 because I'm starving
£20.
now.
Zoe has the bid. £20. Who'll go higher than £20? Eve, you were making noises.
No, I've got my chips.
You got your chips. Right. Chocolate. £20. Charlotte, you haven't got any money. All right. Zoe, £20. 2 bars of chocolate. Well, 1 bar maybe.
No!
Two bars. £20. Right. Now, Pete, you've still got £100. James has got 50. Richard's got plenty. Eve's got plenty. Right. We're running out now. Only a couple of lots left. Another burger and chips, anybody?
20 quid!
£20 burger and chips.
Oh,
Right, James, £20. £30, Pete?
no.
I'll give you 40.
Anybody beat £40? Zoe, stuffing her face with pizza, now wants burger and chips for £40. James, £50. £50. £50. Yes. The ketchup is out there somewhere. I hope you don't have to pay for it.
Who's got the ketchup? Well, that's part of my 20 quid.
The last lot is a mobile phone call home.
Oh no!
And that mobile phone call home is going to start at £50.
I'll buy that.
Pete, £50. Anybody, 60? £60. £60.
I'll pay you 200 quid for a mobile phone, full phone.
At £80 is what I've got.
And you're offering 60.
I know I'm offering 80.
You're offering 80 now.
And my hat.
You want to make that mobile phone
you
call
can have
home.
a square of my chocolate and this stick.
For £80, a mobile phone call home. Zoe, going. gone. So you've stuffing for pizza,
I know, I don't
chocolate.
care. You can take the lot. That's
80.
lovely. Thank you
80.
very much.
That concludes the business for the day. Bon appetit. Enjoy yourself and enjoy the phone call.
Will do.
And tomorrow it's
I bet she's out.
far more serious because it's the immunity challenge. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Woohoo! Who's got medicine?
I thought we were going to share everything anyway, so what's the point in outbidding everybody?
Well, we're not because people are.
So we've all changed the rules now.
Far from providing amusement for the tribe, the food auction has led to yet more problems and divisions on Sakutu Beach.
I just can't believe that. Before the auction started, we all said, don't bet each other up. Just let the money go for whatever it's got and we'll share everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they just like bet on that burger and ate it all.
So they all agreed to share everything when you went in.
And then when they got it, it was like...
Well, Richard was
this
the
is
first
mine.
one, and he said, I thought he was going to hand me a piece of the pizza.
I did.
He just started wolfing it.
I know.
He wolfed, what, half of it?
Yeah.
Before he passed any of it out.
And then it was only to his tribe members.
Yeah.
But my lot had come with the burger and chips and a bottle of tomato ketchup. And then James went and got his burger and chips and just walked up to me, picked up the bottle of tomato ketchup, not said anything, shook about a third of the bottle over his chips. I had to say, can you stop please, because that's going to last us 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he and Charlotte just sat there and ate a whole bar.
And Eve was even fussing about the tomato ketchup that I was
I know,
putting on
she
my
wouldn't-
hamburger.
wouldn't allow you
She said,
to
why
put-
don't I want that as part of my 20 quid?
I know, how
What is that woman on? What is she on?
And then they gave Pete this and said, here Pete, you've got to have something.
Could any of you have done that? Because I couldn't.
No.
I couldn't.
And once I saw Zoe get the chocolate and give you one piece,
Yeah.
I thought, hang on, they're not going to share this out.
Yeah.
We'll be left with nothing.
I know,
Nothing.
I know.
And that's why
I knew you were
that's
gonna
why I
share
went
your
for that
burger
bowl to share it with you.
Yeah.
They are a selfish pair in everything. They always have been.
slovenly.
Yeah.
Selfish and slovenly.
Do you know what? I've eaten so much, I've got bloody toothache.
Can you imagine what it'd be like round James's dinner table at home, him and 5 kids and his wife? Do you think they all just scramble for the biggest portion?
Nightmare.
They behave like a bunch of animals, complete and utter animals. And who was the one person who behaved with complete self-respect? Pete.
Pete,
And he
yeah.
was flabbergasted at the end of
I
it
know.
to see that they'd just gone completely against their word.
I was very disappointed today because it was supposed to be a bit of fun and it's completely tainted the day really. People look to themselves always instead of looking to others.
Give a little love.
Let's leave the chocolate wrapper on the table as if we've already eaten it all.
No, you are definitely evil.
You're twisting, Jackie.
What's done is done and it's happened.
Yeah,
And they know what's
don't think to
happening,
that
let's just
level.
leave it.
Anyway, you've got too far to
Can't
go.
we just revel in it?
For a bit longer.
Privately.
Learn to be nasty.
Pete, far too nice, for goodness sake. God's not watching you all the time, you know.
Oh, he is.
I'm Halang anyway. There's no way I feel converted into this pathetic tribe, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because we're still separated and always will be. To the very end.
Can we bounce off 2 people at once? Is that allowed?
Unfortunately not.
All right.
What, you mean Charlotte and yourself?
Oh!
I sort of went in thinking that the auction would be a bit of fun and wasn't knowing what to expect. I got the feeling that we're all going to bid for individual bits, take say a quarter and then share the rest out. So I think other people felt a little bit more anal about it and they felt we're all going to sit there with it on our lap and then bring it back and then divide it into nice little eights.
So everybody just sat there with their stuff. There's no way I would have attacked
That's
them
right,
with that
but
stuff.
people were like giving a small bit to like some, and then you were having like quite a bit of pizza.
I had a bite. Every time I had a bite, you had a bite. Of pizza.
Yeah, but then I turned around and you were having more pizza.
No, every time I had a bite, you had a bite.
Yeah, hang on,
you
Rich, look, I was
until
sitting
you were eating
next to
the
Rich
burgers.
and I didn't get an offer of anything. If you agree to share stuff and you start handing it around, then you hand it around to everybody. You don't eat half of it and then hand it around.
How would you explain why we had half a pizza here and a whole burger and chips? Well, you had quite a bit of chocolate with me because she gave it to us.
between
Us 3 had a bar of
Charlotte and
chocolate.
Well, it wasn't even splitting.
I really tried to be nice to Charlotte, and I thought she was a nice girl and everything, but quite frankly I wouldn't trust her as far as I could spit her, and she eats quite a lot of chocolate, so I couldn't spit her very far. It seems like you could buy her soul for a bar of chocolate, so I don't have a great deal of time or respect for her, I'm afraid.
I don't care anymore.
Anyway, I love rice.
Us guys are on the jury. Well, some of you had better remember it, I tell you.
How can we forget? You remind us every 5 minutes.
No.
No, I can see where the misunderstanding came about.
I can see why you got annoyed with that too.
I'm on the jury.
I'm on the jury. I'm on the jury. It sounds like South Park. Shut your face, now. This is my content.
James and Charlotte are going, you got to be nice to us because we're going to vote for you, and I'm not going to change my attitude to them one bit.
That one reward has done more damage to the whole Sakutu tribe.
What else can we argue with them about?
I'm just not interested.
Can we drag out the chocolate incident for a couple more days?
No, I don't even want to mention it. And when the chocolate split up the ceiling, that's the end of it. I'm not arguing with a 40-year-old man over a block of flaming chocolate.
The following morning, James's thoughts turn to home, and an unrepentant Zoe now realises why he was so desperate for the phone call she bought at yesterday's auction.
Okay, look, this is Henry's birthday.
Okay, shall we sing him? Happy birthday.
Because my son Henry is 8 today,
Yeah.
and I'm not there.
Oh,
and this is his birthday, so you've got to pretend that I'm Henry.
And do you want to put multivitamins
yeah,
so it looks like Smarties?
It was only after the sort of buying my telephone call home yesterday that I realised what James was saying to me when he was sat beside me. He was saying, I'll give you £200 when we go home for the phone. And it didn't dawn on me then what he was doing, and I was just having a laugh, and Richard was handing me 50 quid. I mean, I really wanted to call home.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Henry. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip hooray! Well done! Woo!
But following yesterday's pettiness and the whole chocolate gate thing, I thought, no, I want it. Why should you be any more deserving than me? If you have 5 children and you decide to leave them voluntarily, that's your decision.
Hello?
Cindy? Cindy?
Yeah.
It's Zoe.
Yes?
It's me. Hello. I've won a 3-minute phone call. I've got 3 minutes. How are you?
3 minutes?
Yeah.
Right. I'm alright.
Yeah?
I'm really fine. How are you?
I'm alright. All the better for hearing you. Oh my God, I miss you so much, girl. I'm in the last 7.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Only 6 more to go. Only 6 more to eat, girl, and I'll bring home the bacon. All right.
Okay.
I'll get you that Harley Davidson. I love you, darling.
Bye, my gorgeous.
Bye. Oh wow! That was really good. Wow. I love you, I miss you, and I love you some more, but I miss you more than that, but I love you, but I miss you more than that too.
The house move went okay?
Everything's fine.
Cat's okay?
Cats are happy, my mum's well,
Okay.
my mum's got a new job.
Oh, fabulous.
And we've got to keep going because it's worth it, because they're just sitting there waiting for us.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're just, they're rooting for us.
I'm feeling quite chilled out this morning. Yesterday was quite a sort of intense afternoon, and then only a couple of hours after it, looking back, it just seemed all incredibly childish.
Won't help. Look behind you now, there's white water.
Look, we can still turn it. We can make it go this way.
I think he might actually become one of his own patients.
We were like a group of 9-year-olds fighting over bubblegum or something. And then I sort of thought, what is it that's reduced me to this level? And then suddenly I was back to, this is just a beautiful place, and got back to the task of enjoying myself.
What actually is this going to achieve?
If we don't stand up against this bypass, who will?
Oh dear, 2 have gone now.
The tyranny of the ocean is returning, Mick.
We've got a battle that we can almost win.
Come on, Richard, it's time for your lunch and your tablets.
Just 5 minutes longer.
No, come on.
Just 5 minutes.
The dinner's in the dog.
Strategy with Richard is not to give him too much time to think. To say to Richard, the ex-Halang guys, Andy and myself, we talked about it on Sandspit, and the only way we will vote for you in a final to become a millionaire is if you go in with myself, Charlotte and Pete as a 4. Otherwise, if you're in any other grouping and you make it to the final, we will not be voting for you for the million. To my mind, it would be a real shame to see someone like Jackie win the million.
I don't think Jackie's done anything.
She's done absolutely nothing. The people who did the most things for your group were yourself and Pete. But I would like to see a final between you and Pete. And I
don't think that can happen. I mean, like, I think they'll vote off Pete and then they'll vote off me.
If Pete goes, and I go and Charlotte goes, that means there's 4 of us, very like-minded people sitting on that jury, and we can basically decide who will take away the million.
But
I would like to threaten you with the fact that, you know, if you stick as you are, then you will not win the million, and we'll make sure of it.
But I mean, that would be blackmail, and you know, I'm not here to be blackmailed.
Fair enough.
I think at the end of the day, you're saying, come with me and run the gauntlet, or go without me, and I'll guarantee you that 4 people won't vote for you. So I came to the island to play the game my way,
Which is which way? Straight?
It's the way I've been doing it, yeah? It may be straight, it may be bent. I am not blackmailable, but I'll shake on you for a good effort.
Richard, okay, cheers, mate.
Can we collect nuts like you promised me?
Some nuts. Actually, there's loads back there, we can go and eat them anyway.
Thank you.
That was just a con trip.
The next immunity challenge takes place just around the coast from Sakutu Beach, at a location the tribe haven't visited before. Welcome to Taggy Beach. Tomorrow night is the 9th tribal council, and one of you will be voted off the island. The only way to guarantee that it will not be you is by winning today's immunity challenge. Now, it's day 27, and you know the significance of fire on this island. You know also how important it is to create fire. It's a basic of survival, and that's what this challenge is all about. In a few moments you will have 1 minute to gather as much of the kindling on this beach as you can. Kindling washed up during last night's storm. Kindling you will need to start a fire. You have to stack the kindling in one of the fire pits. After a minute a whistle will sound. You take your torch, you move into the sea, you light your torch, you come back and you place your torch in the sand. Take a piece of your kindling, you light it from the torch, and then you light the base of the fire with it. None of your kindling should touch the string above the fire pit. Immunity is given to the first person whose fire burns through the string. It's as simple as that. It will then lift the flag. Okay, can you go to your positions, please? Fire has become a vital part of everyone's life on the island, and never more so than in this challenge. Their mastery of an everyday activity, building and lighting a fire, could make the difference between who stays on the island and who doesn't. Survivors ready? Begin!
on, Charlotte, welcome.
Platinum thing.
That should make you feel secure for 3 days at least. And I'll see you all at Tribal Council tomorrow evening.
The rats then?
Yeah, do the rats. I found another one, just
I think of a word.
that must have been hypnotised into your unconsciousness.
I've got a pretty shrewd idea now what's going on in their group. From my attempt on Richard yesterday, Richard called it a blackmail attempt. I'd call it more sort of bribery. And within the context of the game, I don't think it was that bad, quite honestly. And yet he came over terribly principled. And I think his real reason for turning me down was that he thinks he's got a better chance in the other grouping, which leaves us with the possibility of an approach to Eve today.
Oblivious to any impending approach, Eve returns to one of her favourite subjects, rice rationing.
We have had to sort of face facts that we can't keep eating rice, you know, on the same scale that China does annually. It's not good news, I'm afraid.
Basically, the decision we should all make now is that we just don't do any more fishing, any more hunting, we just sit around and do nothing. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Everybody's up in arms about the food shortage, but I can't say it's bothered me that much actually. Just a bit bored with everyone going on about it.
If you don't catch any fish on a day, then you have wasted so much energy.
Well, I'd rather die trying than sit on my arse.
Yeah, and I think if that's
termites,
the
to be
decision you
quite
want to do, then the people
That's
that do go
fine.
out fishing should just eat everything they catch.
I quite agree. If I find a coconut?
Well, actually, I think the girls are probably more unconcerned about the food than the boys. The boys are certainly finding it tougher.
I woke up very hungry, had a headache, had big hunger pangs, we're all eating the same size portions, and because of my size, I'm perhaps getting less than other people in terms of their body weight, but I'm not going to ask for a bigger portion than anybody else.
I feel fine. I'd prefer there to be less rice actually, because you know, if everybody suffers under the conditions of having less food, I think I'd probably fare better compared to everybody else. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I want...
Rat for me, rat for you, that's ratatouille.
Want to come and get it before flies land on it? Rat says...
These should be a bit short anyway. Thank you very much.
Chest cavity or a leg? What's that? Chest cavity. I think I'll go for the leg. Thank you.
Don't get a lot of meat off a leg, do you?
You can eat the bone as well.
We all feel hungry, and we've all had those moments where your belly just rumbles. But you've got two choices, you sink or swim.
Pete is almost beside himself about the food issue. He does nothing but moan about it. I mean, he went out with the raft, but it was a real, really lethargic, can't really paddle. He sits there with his head hung. And this is only day one of having rice rationed.
Do you want to have a go, Pete?
Yeah, if you're doing well, mate.
Well, I don't think I am actually, but I'm having fun.
I'm not bad at the old fishing. I've been at it for days, I've caught 5 in total now, but that is the camp record, so I'm pretty chuffed with that.
Earlier today I approached Eve because myself and James have discussed a few things, and we felt that if Pete and Eve would vote with us, purely for the reasons that we're stronger people and we perhaps deserve to get further through our determination than some of the other people.
Charlotte came and approached me this morning while you were all out.
And she was busy topping up her tan. Hard work.
And she basically has asked me to join an alliance with her, James and Pete. Would I be prepared to join them to, they didn't say who they wanted to vote off, but to vote off the least deserving candidate. Ooh, this is all wormy. Gross among
I can't believe that, Eve.
Well, I just wondered, you know, we've had some doubts about Pete and with his moral problem of, you know, dealing with this game, of whether we used it as
Do you know, it's so hilarious. The most deserving, and he sits on his flaming arse, complaining he's hungry, not doing anything in an attempt to, not even attempting to find food.
Just now they've called for the raft to be pulled in, and I was just lying down dozing, and stood up quickly and went to run round, and everything went blank, and my legs just went unbelief me.
Even if Pete voted with them tonight, right? Would you want to go? Would you, in all honesty, want to go in an alliance with Charlotte and James?
No, I wouldn't, because I don't trust her. Jane said to me before she left, at the merger, do not trust Charlotte.
No.
She's deceitful and conniving.
People aren't playing it fair, and unfortunately I think the winner of this competition probably won't deserve it. They'd probably be the winner because they've been the slyest, conniving person.
I have assumed that it's meal day. I speak to Charlotte and Pete says, no, on the raft today it was not decided who was going. So then I saw Richard coming out of the sea, and I just said to him, Richard, I've got one last thing to say to you, and that is, if you vote me off tonight, I think you're a coward because you're scared of me. I mean, it's a desperate measure, isn't it? But, you know, most men wouldn't like that because they'd think, damned if I'm going to be thought of as a coward.
He's moved from blackmail yesterday to just plain old insults today, so he's all over the place.
As they head to Tribal Council, it's worth remembering that previous votes cast against an individual could count against them in the event of a tie. At the moment, Jackie and Zoe have 4 votes against them, Richard and James have 3, Eve has 1. Before we begin tonight, I'd like to welcome back Andy as the first member of the new Tribal Council jury. A jury that, as you know, will grow by 1 after each Tribal Council as others are voted off, to a maximum of 7 people. 7 of you that ultimately, when there are 2 survivors left, will decide who walks away with £1 million. Jackie, is the animosity between the 2 tribes as strong as ever?
I don't think so. But I have been known to be wrong in the past. From what I hear, they've been extremely busy bunnies in trying to turn their fate around. I think I'm the only person in EULA they haven't approached to get on their side, so I don't know whether I'm happy about that or disappointed. But there isn't any animosity, certainly not on my side.
Of course, the time will come when you've got to start voting off former EULA people. Have you any idea in your mind who would go first?
Yes.
Pete, did you think you'd get this far?
I'm glad I got this far, and I aim to get as far as I can. I know I'm one of the top people are going to be gunning for. The only way to guarantee it is immunity, and I'll be going for that.
Michael, are you going to adopt a different strategy, bearing in mind the jury will have Halang members on it?
No, I'm not. It appears, well, that's a death wish, isn't it? But it appears to have worked so far to be as I am. So at this moment, I've no intention of changing that.
James, if it is you or Charlotte, have you decided how you will cast your votes tonight, against which members of EULA you'll cast your votes?
I know exactly who I'll vote for.
Charlotte, if you are voted off soon, have you decided who you would like to win the £1 million, or more particularly who you wouldn't want to win it?
That's obviously what we'll be discussing when I'm on the jury, if I'm on the jury.
OK, Pete, will you start the voting, please?
Decided to vote for Zoe just to give her an extra vote.
I'm going to vote James off. 3 down, 1 to go.
James, over the last week, you've been sleeping in the open with snakes underneath you and monsoon rain over the top of you. I believe you're probably starting to exhibit the first signs of madness. I'm sorry, you've got to go.
We want to keep the other 3 on 4 votes each.
I'll count the votes. Zoe. Mick. James. 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 James, could you fetch your torch and bring it to the stand, please? James, you know that fire represents your life on this island. Your life as part of this tribe has come to an end. Could you extinguish your flame, please? The tribe has spoken, James. You have to leave.
Good luck, everybody, and I hope you go on enjoying it as much as I have today. And especially good luck for Charlotte. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
The rest of you have survived another tribal council. Could you take your torches, return to your camp, and I'll see you for tomorrow's reward challenge.
Once you go, you realise it is just a game. So even though I feel a little twinge of sadness, I can't wait really to go home and see my family and get back to my real life.
I voted for James because I don't like his mood swings.
Richard asked me to put the 3 remaining Halang votes towards Mick, because he calls Mick, Zoe and Jackie the Witch's Coven, and he wants to have a chance against them.
James, despite blackmail and insults, I still admire you for how hard you've been trying.
We said we'd fight for you till the end. That's what I'm doing now.
Next on the hit list.
I'm very happy to be on the jury because I know that myself, Andy, Charlotte and Pete, if they vote him off as he expects, we will decide between the final 2.
James survived despite his mistakes in crucial immunity challenges, but Sakutu showed no mercy. Tomorrow night, see James's story. Next time on Survivor, the challenges bring tensions to the surface.
You don't need to listen to somebody whinging and moaning, and particularly a big lumberjack of a man being a big girl's blouse.
Survivor, the official book, is to be published at the end of the series and will be available from all good bookshops. To reserve your copy now for £9.99 plus 99p postage and packing, call the TV shop on 0870 162 5010.